Hi everyone, welcome to our last video of chapter 8, where we've already talked about the importance of cell division and mitosis. Now we're going to talk about meiosis. So meiosis is a different type of cell division that is used by only specialized cells um, in organisms that go through sexual reproduction. So starting with some vocab, we have a somatic cell. Somatic cells are body cells. So these are the cells that go through mitosis. It's every single cell in the body except for those that are used for reproductive purposes. In our case, we're going to talk about the sperm and the egg. So a somatic cell is every single cell except the sperm and the egg. A gamete is our sex cell. So these are our sperm or egg, which are haploid, which means they have half the number of chromosomes required of that organism. A homologous chromosome is two chromosomes that make up a matched pair in a diploid cell. A locus or a loci is a particular site on a chromosome where a gene is found. So the gene for hair color or eye color or skin color are found at particular loci on a particular chromosome. Diploid is a cell that contains two copies of each chromosome. One set gets inherited from mom and one set gets inherited from dad. So one set from each parent. Haploid is a cell that only contains one set of chromosomes, often a mixture from both parents. Meiosis is the division of a single diploid cell into four haploid daughter cells. Just like with mitosis, there will be a second video on meiosis that goes into a little bit more detail than what we're going to talk about in this particular video. And crossing over is the exchanging of segments of DNA between homologous chromosomes. So the two types of cells that are in the body, we have our somatic cells. These are cells that make up all of our body parts, all of our tissues, our organs, our bone, and contain and relay the physical traits that we actually possess. Our gametes are our sex chromosomes that directly control the development of sexual characteristics as relating to gender. In humans, it's an X and an X for female, or an X and a Y for male. Meiosis is the cellular division that is responsible for making gametes. They make four haploid cells from one diploid cell through the process of two different cellular divisions. These are the stages of meiosis 1. The stages of meiosis are going to be gone over in much more detail in a separate video, but just so you are familiar with them, the word should sound familiar. They are the same as that of meiosis or mitosis. So we have prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. So the difference here is we do not have that second P. So we're just looking at PMAT here. Now we always put a 1 after meiosis 1 because it's the first division. I also like to think of it as the 1 stands for the number of cells that are actively dividing. So prophase 1 has one cell that divides. Metaphase 1, anaphase 1, and telophase 1. At the end of telophase 1, we go into cytokinesis, which triggers the division of meiosis 2. Meiosis 2 is the second division, or there are two cells actively dividing here. So I like to think of the 2 as the number of cells that are dividing. So prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase again. So we have PMAT 2, where two cells are actively dividing in our second division. Our end result is 4 cells that have half the number of chromosomes as the original parent cell, and they are genetically unique from one another due to the mixture of both mom and dad DNA and something called crossing over. This is another really good video on meiosis. Again, it's in the PowerPoint. I really encourage you to go in and take a look at it. We are going to skip over it for now. Here's the difference between mitosis and meiosis. So mitosis has one cellular division, where meiosis has two. In mitosis, the homologous chromosomes, so chromosome 8 from mom and chromosome 8 from dad, will line up. That also happens in meiosis. In anaphase of mitosis, those homologous chromosomes, those sister chromatids, are pulled apart. That does not happen in meiosis 2 or meiosis 1. So in meiosis 1, the sister chromatids remain connected and then are separated in anaphase 2. The result of mitosis is diploid cells. The result of meiosis, haploid cells. In humans, that means mitosis produces a cell with 46 chromosomes. Meiosis produces a cell that has 23 chromosomes. Mitosis cells are genetically identical, where meiosis cells are genetically unique. Mitosis makes 2 cells, where meiosis makes 4. Again, another video on the comparison between mitosis and meiosis. We're not going to watch it. Crossing over becomes very, very important in meiosis. And it's how we become a genetic mixture of both of our parents. Not only are we inheriting roughly half of our chromosomes from each parent, but crossing over increases that diversity in our genetics. It is the exchanging of corresponding segments between non-sister chromatids. So you take chromosome 11 from mom and chromosome 11 from dad. So if this is chromosome 11 from dad, this is chromosome 11 from mom. What happens in early meiosis is that these two pieces, it's the same genes because of that loci, are going to basically trade places. So dad's breaks off and attaches to mom's chromosome. Mom's breaks off and attaches to dad's chromosome. What happens now is these two chromosomes from dad are no longer genetically identical because it's carrying a piece of mom's DNA, and same with mom's. The segments of chromosomes from mom exchange the place with the chromosome from dad, which increases genetic diversity, which is why some people may say, like, wow, you have your mom's eyes, but your dad's hair. Well, that's because of crossing over. That is the end of chapter 8. Go back and watch that meiosis video, and I'll see you guys soon.